championship, beating Lunenburg 3-2. Ball on the backhander. That's 1-0 Greenfield. Here's one. And snapped it home. Aaron Landry is going to go all the way to the house. Division 3A state championship, beating Lunenburg 3-2, and then mugging Riley Grove.
Greenfield High School football is coached by head coach Mr. Michael Kacheski, assistant coaches Al Dean, John Hickey, Brody Conant, and Jack Patala.
Bears and the Mahar Senators. Talk about them. Some, as you mentioned, Sean, during the break, nice bounce back for both of those schools.
Yeah, it seemed both of those guys lost pretty badly week one, and not sure what direction they were going to head in. But yeah, the Bears beat Pathfinder 28-24. That was Dylan Fountain, over 150 yards on the ground, a couple of touchdowns. Caleb Cox hit Vinny Gordon with a couple of touchdowns. So the Bears offense rolling. Nice to see them bounce back in week two, protect their record at 1-1.
Yeah, that's a program that had trouble scoring the last couple of years, but starting in the spring season, Sean, you remember all of a sudden they became very prolific behind Caleb Cox and some of the other guys. Now they graduated several of their weapons from last year, but they're pretty much offensively anyway. They picked up where they left off back in the spring.
Well, they came in and pasted Franklin Tech. Remember that week one, and nobody saw that coming. Barely survived the season before. I think they won the next game day. 14 kids on the roster. Even sure they're going to have a team. And boy, they rolled in Franklin Tech week one. Just put together a clinic.
Speaking of the Eagles, they were to have been idle this weekend because the original schedule had them against Mount Greylock, but Mount Greylock's program didn't survive, and it actually was folded into Drury, which is North Adams High School, basically. So they were able to pick up a game tonight. So they're going to be playing the Drury Blue Devils. So they were able to pick up that game. Good for them.
And we'll see them next week down at Mahar.
That's right, in orange. That'll be our next broadcast here on Bear Country. Captains meeting at the center of the field right now. believe that Frontier won the toss. They have deferred to the second half. I'm guessing Greenfield will take the ball here. And Frontier.
David Carey's missing part of his number there. Unless he got that shirt tucked up. I mean, he got that thing tucked up under there.
Yeah, could be.
Number 3, and it kind of looked like I don't know what that is, but.
Yeah, that shirt is pretty tight, but not as tight.
Greenfield will be receiving,
as,
and
well,
Frontier will be
Connor
defending
McGregor
the
on
north
first
goal.
pitch. Somewhere. Maybe it was the Mets game down in New York.
I heard about it. I didn't see it.
Did you hear about the pants?
No, but I heard the pitch came close to the third baseman.
Oh, the pitch was terrible. And the pants. I don't know how.
Pants were worse.
I don't know how he walks around. Fighting is his jam for sure. All right, so we're just about set for the start of the game, but first, the national anthem as performed by the Greenfield High School Marching Band.
Under the direction of Mr. Matt Skypek.
And as you can hear, when the band finished up the Star Spangled Banner, you heard the applause of the crowd. It is another good one here. The last time we heard was 2 weeks ago for the Chicopee game. And a bigger crowd here. Obviously, they're playing another local team. A lot of people up from the South County to see this one. Frontier, when Greenfield dropped down in divisions and entered the Inter-County League, for years they just could not beat Frontier. That was the one school they just couldn't beat. And in recent years, they've sort of evened it up. Even when Frontier had some really good teams, Greenfield was able to hold their own. Now they kind of feel they have a chance to take control of the rivalry for a change.
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit, I think, on the air last week and maybe even off the air. But, you know, Frontier had a good, solid 30-year run, really, Jeff. And we've been doing these games since our 31st year. And this Frontier program was just solid year in and year out. And really the standard for any program in the area. Not many teams could sustain that through time. And Frontier seems to be now kind of coming back to the pack.
All right, Frontier set to boot it away now. Teed up on the 40-yard line. And the opening kick is a ground ball to the center of the field, down at the 35-yard line by Drew Conant. And here comes the Greenfield offense on the field, first down and 10. 35-yard line. They're moving left to right here in the opening quarter. They're going to be out there with David Carey, the senior, first year at quarterback, a former wideout, but he's taken to quarterback very well. Ryan Polazari is among those who will run, but they run out of a spread offense with Brendan Driscoll, Trevor Kacheski, David Damkohler, and Devin Buchanan, the main receivers. First down and 10, Greenfield will go out of the shotgun formation. First down carry is going to go to Ryan Polazari on the left side, takes it over left guard for about 2 yards up to the 37. It'll be second down and 8.
Yeah, last we were here a couple of weeks ago, it was David Carey throwing for a couple hundred yards, ran for another 100 yards. Big game offensively. Ryan Polazari there with the first carry of the game. He had 10 carries for about 28 yards and a touchdown in that game a couple of weeks ago here against Chicopee.
here in the first quarter. Greenfield moving left to right, so they're going towards Silver Street, towards the scoreboard side of Vets Field. Trevor Kucheski, Brendan Driscoll come to the near side right. Two receivers up top on the left. Out of the shotgun formation, Carey. Quarterback draw. He'll try the left side. Not a lot of room. Frontier read that very well. No gain, maybe even a loss of a half yard. It'll be 3rd down and long.
Yeah, again, they will have plays designed for Carey just to run the ball out of that quarterback spot. Just had about 100 yards a couple weeks ago against Chicopee.
3rd and 7 for the
Going to get right back to about, give him a yard, I guess, on that carry. So 3rd and 7 here now for Greenfield.
Opening drive of the game. Damkohler and Buchanan split to the far side left. Driscoll and Kucheski near side right. Now Buchanan comes in motion to the right. Back to pass. Quick swing pass caught by Buchanan at the 40. Across the 45-50. First down and more. Breaking tackle still going into Frontier territory. Finally goes down at the Red Hawk 44-yard line. Devin Buchanan just would not go down.
No, and doing the crab walk there at the end. He got knocked down, but still never went down. Holding the football. Arm on the ground, still trying to crawl around, and what a nicely designed play there on 3rd and long for Greenfield. Strike to Buchanan, and then it was all him down the right side. Break a couple of tackles into Frontier territory.
10-10 to play here in the opening quarter. Opening drive, Greenfield now with their first down of the evening, moving just inside the 45-yard line of Frontier. Coming in motion is Driscoll into a slot left. Handoff goes on the left side. Ryan Polizari cuts back inside, takes it to the outside, inside the 40, down to the 38, 37-yard line of Frontier.
Still a little conservative on the play call, but Polizari over the left side gets a big gain on 1st down. Gain of 7 on that.
Pick up on 6, 2nd and 4 for the Wave.
2nd down and 4 for the Wave. David Carey looks down at his wristband after he came to the near side of the field to talk to Coach Kucheski. Trevor Kucheski, coach's son, is split to the near side right. Driscoll joins him out there. Quarterback draw. It goes to Carey, bounces to the outside. Frontier, though, strings out. Gets a great block by Driscoll, and they're going to flag him on it.
I don't think that was
that was a good block.
Yeah, I think it was a good block. I mean,
1st down. There is
I see what the umpire saw.
Boy, Sean, I don't know.
No, I don't either. You can see Brandon, he's kind of
looks like it's coming back.
Trying to state his case there as well. But yeah, I saw the play, I saw the call, and I got to say that one could have been let go, I think.
So they're going to step it off back outside the 40 to the 45-yard line. That'll make it 2nd down and 11. It wasn't a glaring miss by the official, I would say, but I would say a questionable call.
You can't hit a guy from the back side of him. He has to be kind of facing you when you hit him, and it was kind of hit him on the side. I don't know. It was close.
Would have been good for a 1st down, but instead 2nd and 11 for the Wave. Frontier 45-yard line. Working out of that spread offense. Carey takes the snap, fakes the handoff, rolls to the right, underthrows. Polizari coming out of the backfield down at the 40-yard line. Now 3rd down and 11, so it turns out that penalty is pretty big. I mean, Greenfield has a chance here, maybe 4-down territory from right here.
Yeah, I was thinking that ball at the Red Hawk 45-yard line, and yeah, unless you come up with a play here for 7 or 8 yards, you may consider going on 4th and 2 or 3, but 3rd and 11 here, see what Greenfield does.
Clock is out with 8:51 to play here in the first quarter. We are scoreless. Greenfield has 1 1st down so far. 3 receivers to the far side left, and Trevor Kucheski to the near side right. To Carey, he's going to run it himself. On the left side, gets a couple of blocks, turns the corner, run out of bounds down to the Frontier 40-yard line. And he got thrown out of bounds or knocked out of bounds well after he ended up way over there.
Yeah, it's tough to tell from over here, but you could see he had already started to glide out of bounds, and then he got shoved right into the Red Hawks bench. And actually, when you say bench, it's just where the guys are all standing.
That is against the Red
But
Hawks.
yeah, you could see he was thrown pretty violently out of bounds after he tried to step out, and that's going to be a 15-yard penalty.
So that will set up Greenfield at the Frontier 25-yard line. 2nd 1st down of the drive. 1 they got on their own. This one penalty aided. 8:43 to play here in the quarter. Greenfield now getting close to the red zone here.
Yeah, big mistake there for Frontier. That ball where Carey was going out of bounds, they would have left themselves with a 4th and maybe 5 or 6. And it would have been decision time for Coach Kacheski as to whether he wanted to punt that thing away or go on 4th and 5. And that penalty erased that decision for the coaching staff.
Right, the Green Wave breaks the huddle. They come up in the shotgun formation. Again, wideouts to either side. Coming in motion is Buchanan. Carey will roll to the right. Steps up, throws on the run, down the field, overthrew Trevor Kacheski in the right front corner of the end zone. Would have been good for 6, but just a little bit too much on that.
Yeah, we saw him hit Kacheski for a touchdown there in week 1, and Trevor almost got there. There was good coverage. Kacheski had kind of freed himself, and another good 2 strides he would have gotten there, but well-thrown ball, just a little deep for Kacheski to get there. Good shot there on 1st and 10, though.
2nd down and 10 for the Wave. Frontier 25-yard line. Carey comes to the sideline to get the play call. Frontier digging in defensively again. Not a bad effort against Palmer on the defensive side. They gave up 25 points, but that was a really high-powered Palmer offense. They did pretty well.
Susceptible to the long pass. They really shut down the running game.
Now a flag down, maybe a delay a game against Greenfield.
On the play.
Motion.
Nope.
Illegal procedure against the
And that's
Wave.
going to be stepped off against the Wave back to the 30-yard line. So now it'll be 2nd down and 15 from there. 8:36 left here in the quarter, and we are still scoreless.
Well, these are the things Mike Kacheski talked about, those mistakes. Got yourself a 1st and 10, you take a shot downfield, doesn't connect, that's all right. But now you come back, 5-yard penalty, make it 2nd and 15.
Coming in motion is Buchanan to the right, and it goes to Carey on a quarterback draw, and he squirts through a big opening, but it quickly closed. But he got back the yardage lost by the penalty and maybe a yard or 2 beyond that. But 3rd down and long for the Wave.
Yeah, 13 yards now on 3 carries for the quarterback, Carey. He is one of 3 passes connected on that 19-yarder earlier in this drive.
Let's go, Greenfield! Let's go!
Greenfield finds himself again in a 3rd and long. In Hawks territory this time. They're at the Hawks 24.
3rd down and 9 from there. They need to get to the 15 to keep this going or into the end zone. Double wideouts to either side. Carey back to pass, throws on the right side. It is caught by Driscoll, puts a move on, but Frontier does a good job of holding ground. Sam Schreiber did a good job of not getting deked out. Ian Spearance there too. It'll be 4th down.
Yeah, one of his favorite targets right there. He knew he was going to try to hit Driscoll. He caught 4 passes for 140 yards in that game against Chicopee here a couple weeks back. That one there, he was just able to get out of the backfield and gain a couple of yards, but as you just said, Jeff, about 4th and 4 here for Greenfield.
Yep, they're at the Frontier 19-yard line, so they're in the red zone now, but 4th down. They need to get to the 15, inside the 15 to keep it going here. And a timeout called on the field, and it is taken by the Red Hawks. And we'll take the break. 7 minutes, 14 seconds left to play here in the 1st quarter. On the CarQuest of Greenfield, South Deerfield, and Shelburne scoreboard, we are scoreless. Back after this.
Helped with a penalty.
4th and 4 from the Frontier 19-yard line. Ball's on the near side hash mark. That's the right side as Greenfield views it. 3 receivers to the near side right. Carey out of the shotgun, takes it. Gives it to Driscoll, fumbles the football, and Frontier recovers. Brendan Driscoll was looking downfield. It went off his mitts, and Frontier will take over.
Yeah, not a mistake you expect out of Driscoll. That kid's played a lot of football for Turner's, played for Mohawk. Now here at Greenfield, and yeah, that's just a simple case of he's looking downfield before he even took the ball from David Carey, and he'd taken a good step and a half before he could try to come back and get it, and by then, the Frontier Red Hawks had hopped on it, so 10-play drive ends right there at the 25-yard line on a turnover.
Dan Deeman was the defensive end who came up with that fumble recovery for the Red Hawks. Mike Kucheski was quoted in the local paper saying that they need to minimize their mistakes, and that was not a forced fumble where, you know, the player got popped hard. He just
flat-out mistake.
Just made a mistake. A big opening up the middle for Josh Samaski. Brings it all the way out to the 41-yard line from the 19. Huge run for him and a first down for the Hawks.
Yeah, it seemed as though it took Samaski a little while to get going last week in that game. He had a pretty good late third quarter and fourth quarter there, but 17 yards on the first carry for Samaski. Brings the ball over the 40 to the 41-yard line. Great first down run there for him. Big hole.
Yeah, they blew open a huge hole in the Greenfield D-line. 41-yard line, first down and 10. 6:40 to play here in the opening quarter. We are scoreless. Ian Burt goes split to the far side right. Near side receiver, backs him in the I formation. They go back to Samaski. He'll try the right side. Not a lot there as he got brought down by Joey White. Check that was, White was in on that stop along with Devin Buchanan.
Well, again, the run game is going to be the default for the Red Hawks. They do not throw the ball very often. Again, Schreiber last week just 4 of 6 passing. They did throw it 10 times the first week. You completed 7 of those 10. That's been his season high, his 10 pass attempts in a game.
Here comes Sam Schreiber, the quarterback, second down and 9. Ball's on the 42-yard line of Frontier, moving right to left. Going into a slot left formation now. They're going to work. Little tip goes to Ian Spirance, and he takes it up close to the midfield stripe. He'll be about 2 yards shy of the first down. That's that old Frontier double wing formation that they went to, that they ran successfully for years and years.
Boy, that was hard to stop when they were running it. Again, when they had guys back there that could burn, and they blocked that thing right every time, and boy, tough.
Third and 2
for the Hawks from their own 49-yard line. They need to get to the Greenfield 49 or better to keep it going. And they're in the double wing right now. Connor Hoffman, the lone back. Long snap count.
Not this time.
Not this time. Didn't work. Back. Big loss. And in on the tackle for Greenfield, William Van Vliet.
A loss on the play.
And a loss back to the 47-yard line. That will be fourth down.
He came from the right side and just chased that thing down. He knew exactly what was going on there. And nice stop in the backfield. And yeah, as you just said, Jeff, a loss of a couple yards on the play. So it's going to bring up a fourth, and we'll call it 4 yards here.
Now, Frontier just changed several personnel. 3 or 4 guys are out there now, which leads me to believe they're going to come out in punt formation. They will.
David Carey,
as Sean Kirkendall will drop back in punt formation. David Carey back at his own 25 to get it for Greenfield. Now Schreiber comes back out there, and he's going to line up on the left side. Snap goes back high, way over the head of Kirkendall, all the way back to the 25-yard line, picks it up, looks to run, and he is pounded down at the 20-yard line, and Greenfield is going to be set up with awesome field position.
Absolutely nothing he could do about that. That thing was so far over his head, he could just turn and start running backwards, and had he been able to field it cleanly, he might have been able to turn and kick it real quick, but his first attempt to pick it up, he kind of fumbled a little bit, and by then it was just too late.
3:55 to play here in the first quarter, and Greenfield will begin drive number 2 on the Frontier 20-yard line. So we've had a fumble by Greenfield and then an airmailed snap on an attempted punt. You know, Greenfield should have it right now around their own 35, 40-yard line maybe. Now the Frontier 20. Carey calling out the signals. Elizari to his right. Coming in motion is Buchanan. They flip to him. Buchanan, Devin turning the corner, breaks away from one tackle can't get away, though, from Josh Samaski. And just a very short gain, maybe to the 19 or 18 or so.
I think that was Diamond that was able to grab the back of his jersey and just hold him up enough so he could get some help in on that tackle. Yeah, give him a gain of a yard, I guess, on that one for Buchanan.
Clock in motion, 3:27 to play here in the opening quarter. We are still scoreless, but Greenfield is in the red zone. They were in the red zone a moment ago, but fumbled the ball on 4th down and 4 from the 19. That's where they're at right now. 2nd down and 9.
Redhawks have only run 5 offensive plays in this first quarter. Greenfield's dominated the football so far.
But we remain scoreless, at least for right now. Carey on a quarterback draw, takes it left side, squirts through the hole, into the secondary, to the 15, to the 10, 5, touchdown, but there's a flag on the play.
There is a flag on the play.
This touchdown may or may not hold.
I
we will
believe that's
see.
coming back, Jeff. Yeah, you can see there was a hold right inside in the middle.
Holding against the
Yep.
green
Against the
wave.
wave, yeah.
Wave off
back.
that 19-yard touchdown run by David Carey. So each team committing not just some mistakes, but mistakes that have hurt. I mean, that just took a touchdown away.
Takes away your momentum, takes away your touchdown. It's going to set you back 10 yards, and yeah, nothing good about that.
It is the last week of September. The next time these teams play, it'll be October. It'll be time to really get some of this stuff buttoned up. So the ball will be brought from the 19 back to about the 23-yard line. Be 2nd down from there.
I was thinking about that. So week 1, that game against Chicopee, Greenfield only committed 1 penalty that entire game. They had 1 15-yard penalty, and that was kind of late in the game. I remember we commented through the first half.
Correct, yes.
There were no penalties, and how well it was played, but not right now.
2nd and 14 from the 23. Carey dropping back to pass. Throws downfield, incomplete. He had Devin Buchanan.
Intended for Devin Buchanan is incomplete. Dredging on the coverage for the Redhawks. 3rd and 14 for the Wave.
Receivers on the right, back to pass. He's going to throw to the right, gets it downfield, just overthrown.
Carey's pass intended for Driscoll is just a little long.
Not sure if it did go off his fingertips or not. It was that close.
14 for the Wave.
That would have been down inside the 5-yard line for Greenfield, but now Frontier holding on here. Turn the ball over at their own 20. Looking at a 4th and about 14 yards. Down to 10 for the first down.
Carey and Driscoll have developed a good tempo up until now. The young season, they've made themselves a really good pass-catch combination, but even the best ones don't connect every time. 4th and 14. We'll see what Greenfield comes up here from the 23-yard line, and now a timeout is called, and that's taken by Greenfield. They want to talk about this play. We'll come back with this pivotal 4th down play. 2:41 to play here in the first quarter. CarQuest of Greenfield, South Deerfield, and Shelburne scoreboard. We are scoreless. Coming in motion to the right is Devin Buchanan. 3 receivers to the near side right. Back to pass Carey with time. Throws over the middle, and was it caught? It was a low catch there by Driscoll, and it did hit the ground. So Frontier now will take over on downs from their own 23.
Yeah, that looked like it was going to be close as he was coming back to the ball a little bit, but the angle of the ball and where his hands were, you could see that thing kind of skipped up into his chest as he dove to try to catch it. So David Carey now 2 of 7 passing.
Tell you, Sean, you never know what's going to happen in sports. It's so unpredictable. 2 weeks ago, we were here for that Chicopee game. They couldn't miss.
Yeah.
Through the air. I mean, they were just cruising against the Pacer offense through the air anyway.
8 of 9 he was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Driscoll had 140 yards in receptions in that one.
Sam Schreiber, I formation behind him on first down. Gives to Samaski, caught in the backfield, stumbles forward to get back to the line of scrimmage and maybe even a gain of a yard, but Greenfield came blasting through. Drew Conan among those in on the stop.
So we've got 2 minutes and 20 seconds to play here in the first quarter. And that was Frontier's 6th offensive play that they've run.
Yeah, Greenfield definitely has won the time of possession battle so far, but nothing to show for it. They've been in the red zone twice, a fumble and a failed 4th down conversion.
Yeah, a couple penalties hurt them.
It was a gain of 1 by Samaski. And Samaski now will line up in a slot left. They go to the double wing formation, I should say. And they go to Hoffman up the middle. Connor pushes the pile forward, brings it out across the 25 up to about the 26 or so. It'll be 3rd down and long from there.
That was Hoffman's first carry of the game. Yeah, we'll give him a gain of a couple there. He had 4 carries last week, just 7 yards.
He wore number 44 last week, has his real number, which is number 10 this week.
Yeah, that kind of messed us up last week for a little bit, but we figured it out.
We figured out it was Connor. He couldn't hide from us. 3rd down and 7 for Frontier from the 26-yard line. Double wing formation, and it's going to go to Spearance. Ian, though, well, there was a hole, but then he gets stood up by several Greenfield defenders, Buchanan, Driscoll, and more. It's a short gain to about the 28. So he's about 3 or 4 yards shy of a first down. They had the ball about 10 yards ahead of this, or 15 yards ahead of this, and they punted. So I'm guessing we were going to see another punt. We'll see if they can execute the snap this time.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, that was a problem last week, too, with that snap.
Yes.
And that cost them big time there, but it did not cost them points. So 38 seconds, clock rolling. Frontier will be punting this away on 4th and 4.
All right, Sean Kirkendall will hit it right around the 20-yard line or so. Carry back deep for Greenfield. Down to 20 seconds left here in the quarter. Snap goes back. It's a good one. And a nice boot by Kirkendall. Taken by Carey. Did not call for the fair catch at the 42-yard line, and he's brought down immediately. 10 seconds left here in the quarter, and Greenfield will begin drive number 3 from their own 43.
Yeah, I had to be a little bit nervous on that one, waiting for that snap, but Kirkendall, perfect snap, got his foot into it. Good punt. Carey was able to field it, as you said, Jeff. Did not call for the fair catch. There were a couple of defenders right there as he caught it, though. Took him down right where he stood, right about the 44-yard line.
1st and 10 for the Wave. 10 seconds left here in the quarter. We are still scoreless. Greenfield's had the ball for almost this entire game. Frontier did have 1 first down. It was on the first play from scrimmage, a big run by Samaski.
Right, 18 yards.
And they're going to go up the middle for this last play of the quarter for not much of anything there for Ryan Palazzari. And that will end the first quarter. End of the first quarter, Vets Field, Greenfield High School, our score on the CarQuest of Greenfield, South Deerfield, and Shelburne scoreboard. Greenfield nothing, Frontier nothing. Second quarter action next on Bear Country 95.3. that are awful, but it seems like everybody else is bunched in the middle. And I have no idea how it's going to play out.
Early season, too. You just never know.
Yeah.
I was listening to Lou Merloni this afternoon, and he is highly confident in a Patriots win. He is not worried about the Saints whatsoever.
Second and 9.
I don't know. I'm worried a little. The Kamara guy's pretty good.
45-yard line, second down and 9. Direct snap to the quarterback, Carey. He'll try the left side. Not much there. I'll tell you what, Frontier has come to play defensively. A nice surge there. Number 54, Alex Schreiber, who is a sophomore linebacker, came up with the stick. It's 3rd and long.
Give Carey a couple yards on that. So 4 carries for him, 15 yards on the ground. He's got 23 yards through the air.
3rd and 7 or 8 yards. The ball is on the 47-yard line. They need to get to the 46 of Frontier to keep this drive going. And if you're just joining us, Greenfield has been in the red zone against Frontier twice. Not deep. I mean, they were right around the 19 or so yard line, but they had a fumble on a 4th down play, and they had a failed 4th down conversion. On 3rd down, back to pass, Carey. Heavy rush hit as he let it go, and the ball is skipped in there. Incomplete pass. For Frontier, John Samaski, number 68, the defensive tackle, came in and popped Carey just as he was delivering the ball.
Yeah, and then Schreiber there too, and I think he actually drove his own man right back into him as he tried to unload that football.
So Ian Spearance now will go back to around his own 20-yard line to get the boot from David Carey. 11:06 to play here in the first half. We are still scoreless.
Yeah, easily that was Greenfield's worst possession of the game so far.
A quick 3 and out with only 3 net yards. Snap back to Carey. Frontier will set up for the return. A nice boot from the 18-yard line. Spearance gets past the first wave of players, skips through a tackle, gets it up to the 30-yard line. A nice return of 12 yards there by Ian Spearance. And the Red Hawks now will take over 1st and 10. 10:56 to play here in the first half in a scoreless tie.
Well, if you're the Red Hawks, you got to feel pretty good right now. You've kind of weathered that storm. You've given Greenfield a couple of opportunities they could not take advantage of. And now you just got to get yourself clicking here on offense a little bit. As you said, Jeff, that was Samaski on the first carry of the game for them, and 18 yards. That was clearly their best play of the game so far.
Haven't done much beyond that, but again, still early on here. Let's see what they come out with an offensive formation. I'm going to go to the I formation now this time. I formation, 2 receivers to the far side left. Schreiber calling the signals, long snap count. Gives to Samaski on the left side, but met at the line of scrimmage. Josh, though, does a good job of getting about 3 yards to the 33. It'll be 2nd and 7.
Yep, 22 yards now on the ground for Samaski. On 5 carries. Again, he's broken the 100-yard mark in both of their first 2 games for Frontier, 110 and 140 yards respectively.
Yep, he's a legit threat, and he's doing that in situations where his team, Sean, had fallen behind, which usually takes away the running game. I mean, at the first game of the year, he got his yardage with relatively few carries because Frontier had to start throwing.
Yeah, threw the ball 10 times in that one, just 6 times last week.
Backs again in the I formation behind Schreiber. 2nd down and 7. It's Samaski again, left side. Greenfield though with a nice surge, and they bring him down for no gain. It'll be 3rd down and long.
Yeah, nothing doing there. So the Greenfield defense again. And they're going to mark him up a little bit. I guess we'll call that a gain of a yard, but
Joey White was in on that. Also in on the tackle for Greenfield. Looked like, yeah, that was Drew Conant.
And again, the Hawks are in a long 3rd down here. Going to get to their own 40-yard line, 3rd and about 7.
I formation, wideouts on either side. 3rd down and 7 for Frontier. The pitch goes to Samaski, blasting through. It's Conant and finished off by Pellizzari. And also in there was Devin Buchanan. A huge loss. It'll be 4th down and long for the Hawks.
Yeah, that pitch was just a little bit behind him, and it just took the second to kind of turn to get to it. And after that, he had absolutely nowhere to go. He's going to lose about 5 yards on that play.
Boy, I'll tell you, on both sides, Sean, it's almost as if these defenses know what play's coming.
Yeah,
I mean, Greenfield they knew they were going to pitch wide for some reason.
Yeah, they were all over that. And those Samaski runs up the middle, they covered him pretty good there too.
Kirkendall back at his own 20 to boot it, and back in midfield at actually his own 40-yard line is David Carey, not Drew Carey.
I haven't done that yet, but I'm surprised.
The punt goes out of bounds, Cleveland Rocks.
Yeah.
45-yard line, so good field position for David Carey and the Green Wave offense here.
Yeah, easy enough to do it, but yeah, David Carey a little bit quiet in this one so far again.
What it was is I mixed up Drew Conant and David Carey.
Okay, yeah.
That's where I'm going to go with it.
It makes sense. No, I'm buying it. I'm surprised I haven't done that yet this year when you just did that. That makes sense to me, but David Carey.
Well, Drew Carey looks like he probably played some football on the line back in the day.
He
totally looks like a football player.
Had to be a lineman.
Had to be.
Yeah.
And he's from Ohio. I mean, that's a big high school football.
Yeah, at least played in high school.
I'm going to have to Google that.
Let's check.
Shotgun formation, 1st and 10 Greenfield, their own 45-yard line. Quarterback draw. Carey slips through one tackle and still going. Frontier was there defensively, but a nice job there by Carey. Gets it into Red Hawk territory, down to the 49.
Yeah, a little slippery there, and then always forward momentum was moving forward. The tacklers were all moving forward, so able to pick up a couple extra yards at the end of that play. So yeah, we'll give them a gain of, we'll call that 6 yards there.
Clock in motion, 8:10 to play here in the first half. We are still scoreless. Greenfield has had the better of it in terms of possession and yardage, but for various reasons, they have not found the end zone. But Frontier has done a good job when they've needed to. Back to pass, Carey whips it on the right side. Wide open, Buchanan, first down and more inside the 40, down to the 35-yard line. First down, Greenfield.
Yeah, kicked a 14-yard pass and catch there. So now Greenfield got a little bit going on here now. 7:44 to play here in the first half.
Yeah, they stopped the clock to set the change. Now they restart it, so the ball will actually be spotted on 36. Of the Red Hawks. Greenfield now here in the second quarter, moving towards the Cleveland Street side of Etz Field. That's the south side, away from the scoreboard. Drew Conant brings him up. Carey in the shotgun, Pellizzari to his right. Double wideouts to either side. Coming in motion, left to right is Buchanan. Carey will take it himself on the right side. Cuts towards the sideline, run out of bounds. Down at around the 30-yard line. We'll see actually about where they spot him.
Getting a 5 or 6, I think.
Depends on where that side judge puts the ball down. It's right around the 32.
5, 2nd and 5.
So about 5. 2nd down and 5. Yeah, they need to get to the 27 of the Hawks.
Carey is the leading ground gainer for either team right now. 6 carries, 26 yards for him.
Many of those carries, though, he's done it himself because Frontier has, for the most part, been waiting for him. He ran wide that last time.
Not bad.
2nd and 5. 32-yard line of Frontier. Inside give, Ryan Pellizzari brings it inside the 30, down to the 28. He is very close to a first down, but I believe about a yard shy. But we're looking at it from an angle here.
Almost looked like Carey went down to a knee to field that snap from center.
3rd and 2 for the Wave.
You can see the back judge looking right at him and did not throw the flag, or did not call him down. So
yeah, exactly. If you have a knee down and you receive the ball, you're down there. You don't need to be touched or tackled. You're down. Play is over.
Looked as though that was what he was doing, but apparently the knee wasn't down as he fielded it. So fortunate for Greenfield, able to get that gain, bring up a short 3rd down here.
From the 28, 3rd down and 1. Carey. Coming in motion is Driscoll to the left. He's been quiet so far. Another short, low snap. It goes to Carey right side. First down and more. Inside the 20, down to the 10, and then ridden out of bounds down there. It'll be first down for Greenfield. Will it be first down and goal, though? That's the question.
Yeah, we're at the 28, and looks like it's going to be just inside the 10.
And we'll see if they pull the sticks aside. They will, so we will call it first down and goal. So now this is Greenfield's 3rd venture into the Frontier red zone. However, this is their best setup. They've never been to the 10.
1st and goal for the Wave.
Yeah, deepest penetration in the game so far for them. And again, the last couple of times they've made some mistakes. So let's see here, first and goal inside the 10.
In motion from left to right is Buchanan. Low snap again to give. Palazzari on the right side. And he breaks a couple of tackles, then gets stood up and driven back. Got down close to the 5.
Flying out of that pile, missing the helmet there at the end.
I thought the whistle came in a little early. I didn't think he actually got stood up before the whistle came in, but he was probably going to get stood up anyway. We'll see where they place the ball. Yeah, right around the 5-yard line. So we'll give them about 5 there. 2nd and goal from there.
Just over 5 minutes to play, exactly 5 minutes to play here in the first half. And Greenfield moved the ball pretty effectively, but not able to find the end zone until possibly this drive.
Yep. Clock in motion, 4:45.
2nd and goal at about the 5 for the Green Wave.
Bring them up.
Watch Driscoll, that was on the other side. Watch him running that little dive up inside.
Here, long snap count. Takes it. Quick pass left side. Incomplete. Devin Buchanan, who went through his hands, had Driscoll line in front of him to block the corner. It'll be 3rd down now.
Yeah, Carey just 3 of 10 passing right now, but I can think of at least 2 drops. We'll put that one in that category. That ball was right on the hands.
Yeah, it was catchable. And he had a blocker out in front of him. Driscoll was there to put a stick on the corner.
3rd and goal at the 5.
3rd and goal from the 5 for Greenfield. Clock is out with 4:27 to play here in the half. Scoreless tie so far. We'll see if Greenfield can get it in here on these next 2 attempts. Carey calling out the signals. Takes the snap. Fakes the handoff. Will roll to the right. Floats it in the end zone. Touchdown!
Carey
Caught by Palazzari. 5-yard touchdown. 6-0 Green Wave.
Well, Greenfield finally
touchdown.
looked as though they had a couple of good drives there in the first half that resulted in no points. That's got to feel good for them. The Hawks still got to feel good about where you are in this game right now. Only being down by 6.
Score.
We'll assume Greenfield is going to go for the 2-point conversion here.
As always, rarely have they had a place kicker. Once in a blue moon, Mike Kacheski, or before him, Mike Dupree would have a place kicker.
Kick a kid off the basketball team once in a while. It could kick or kid off the soccer team.
Yep.
And the Wave will line up in the 2-point conversion
So,
attempt.
yeah, Greenfield will go for 2. David Carey looks over the Frontier D. Sends Driscoll in motion from right to left. Quarterback draw, he'll take it himself, gets stood up at the end zone. He did not get in. We'll take a timeout, 4 minutes, 21 seconds left to play here in the first half on the CarQuest of Greenfield, South Deerfield, and Shelburne scoreboard. It's Greenfield 6, Frontier nothing. All right, Dave will take it out of this. High school football on Bear Country 95.3. And tonight's game, Frontier at Greenfield, is being brought to you in part by nice drive there by Greenfield. They punch it in finally, 6-0. And a short kick. And that is taken by Frontier, downed immediately.
Boy, I got to tell you, that flag came in, and that
Delane Fifield, by the way.
I don't think that should be a flag. There was a Greenfield guy coming down. Now Delaney that thing, and she went right to the ground.
Right.
That was Damaski that came over, and it was more to protect her.
Yeah.
Pretty hard. He just kind of came over and.
Yeah, I agree, Sean. Well, they're still talking. I thought for a minute they were going to say, you know what, let's pick this up, but instead, no. This is bad for Frontier. It's going to get dropped back inside the 20. to the 19-yard line. I thought for a moment they had reconsidered, but they did not. So it's a 15-yarder against the Hawks.
It was a nice job fielding the ball. She went right down to the ground, gave herself up. And there was a defender bearing down, and I could see what Samaski did there. He just was keeping that kid away from his teammate who had already given up.
First and 10 for the Red
I'm sure that
Hawks.
deserved a flag. I really don't.
From the 19-yard line, Frontier has it 1st and 10 now, trailing 6-0. Go to Connor Hoffman, the fullback.
Nazir White on the stop for the wave. Pick up of the yard, 2nd and 9 for the Red Hawks.
Bear Country High School football halftime report will be coming up. Team in the country, and of course we'll do our Patriots preview. Gillette on Sunday.
No Drew Brees this time.
Takes the handoff. Takes it himself and gets
Hoffman on a carry.
mugged as he brings it up to the 25-yard line. Still well shy of a first down. We'll call it 3rd and about. Let's see where they put the
3rd
3rd and 5 from the 26.
3rd and 4 for the Red Hawks.
Over 3 minutes to play here in the half. Kind of a critical 3rd down right here for the Hawks.
Well,
Hold on to this ball.
Clearance under center. There's a flag on the play. It's against the Red Hawks.
Hawks, 35 yards.
It's clearly a pass play because he was
3rd and 9.
backing up to.
Snapped up and a bit early.
So from 3rd and 4.
That's what we're working on. I tried all last spring.
Sam Schreiber under center for the Red Hawks.
To the near side right. Back.
Schreiber's pass is picked off.
12-0 Greenfield.
Right in his mitt.
Interception return for the touchdown.
Into the end zone as he did. That was just, he was standing there.
1:52 left here in the half. Greenfield now is opened up a 12-0 lead. They will go for 2. They failed on their first attempt. David Carey took it on a quarterback draw and got stood up right at the goal line. Sure, on the yardage on that, it looked like it was about 25 yards.
Yeah,
About 25. I was unable to spot it. Gift wrapped for sure. All right, Greenfield going for 2.
Lazari on the carry.
Don't think he did.
And he was stopped short of the goal line. 1:52 remaining in the half. Green Wave 12, Red Hawks nothing.
CarQuest of Greenfield, South Deerfield, and Shelburne scoreboard. It's now Greenfield. Frontier nothing.
the kickoff. Burns deep for the Red Hawks.
30. Ian gets stood up. Well, he's just not going down.
He doesn't like to go down.
Ian says you can't make me go down.
No,
you can try as hard as you want.
A couple of times, and he still never did. This time they finally did.
And let's see how aggressive Frontier is trying to get down the field and trying to make it a one-score game going into
20 or 30 yards down the field.
Then the Bear Country High School football halftime report is coming up. I formation behind Schreiber under center. Inside give to Connor Hoffman. Not much there. He gets spun down there by number 68, William Van Vliet. And Carlo in on the stop as well.
Well, this Greenfield defense has really played well again tonight. They've held Samaski to just 7 carries and 18 yards. And other than that, Hoffman with 3 carries for 4 yards. Sperrins has a couple carries for 9, and Schreiber has a carry for 4 yards, and that's about it.
Yeah, they haven't been able to break a big play other than that very first play
of the game was their best.
Game from scrimmage.
Yep.
That's been easily their best so far, but with a ways to go here. The lone back is Samaski. Back to pass Schreiber.
Schreiber on the keeper. Stopped by Joey White.
Toughness, broke a tackle, and give his team a chance here.
Third down.
The official gave them, okay, I was going to say they gave him the first down.
First down for the Red Hawks. Schreiber's pass is incomplete. Coming for Spearman. David Demkeller on the coverage for the Wave.
Should it have drawn a flag? I don't think so.
Hubie in the pro game sometimes deciding what is defensive pass interference, deciding what is good coverage or an offensive push off. So fast. These athletes are so fast. I don't want to be that back judge that has to make that call.
They know all the tricks too. You know what I mean? So they're using their hands in there and just trying not to get caught.
Lone back is Samaski. Double wide out to left side. Second down and 10. 18 seconds left in half. Schreiber back to pass. Throws over the middle. Incomplete.
Schreiber's pass is incomplete.
It was looking for Ian Burt. And also
Intended for Ian Burt. Third and 10 for the Red Hawks. With 15.6 seconds remaining in the first half.
Down now for Frontier. Get just over the 50-yard line for the first down.
All right, big 75, Gavin Trott brings him up. He's the center. 3 receivers.
Schreiber's pass is incomplete. And that'll bring up a 4th down for the Red Hawks.
We haven't seen the old, was a hitch and lateral? That was the old,
well, there was all kinds of plays.
hitch and lateral and the
he had the
hook and lateral. There it is. That was the one.
He had the wounded duck.
Yeah, the ruptured duck. Yeah. Boy, I miss Coach Smith. I miss that guy in every way.
Sometimes those plays worked too.
Yeah, they were fun when they did.
It wasn't like they tried it and it never worked.
Yeah.
It more than enough. It worked.
Yeah.
Let's see what Frontier comes up with here. 4th down. This barring a penalty will be the last play of the half. Schreiber is back to pass. Floats to the left, throws downfield. It is caught at the Greenfield 40, down to the 30, down to the 20.
The pass is complete. Into Green Wave territory. There's a late flag on the play.
And look where the ball's coming.
Wow.
Down inside to the Greenfield 14-yard line. This is unbelievable, Sean.
Well,
Frontier's got a shot here.
Here's your shot,
and
yeah.
Now they don't. Now it's not about a trick play. It's running just a normal play to try to get into the end zone.
Yep.
So an untimed down here. The clock is out. 0 seconds left. An untimed down for the Frontier Redhawks. The ball is at the Greenfield 19-yard line. It's 12-0 Greenfield, but the Redhawks in the red zone for the first time tonight.
Yeah, 47 yards, 32 on the pass and 15 on the penalty. Here you go, Hawks. Here's your chance.
All right, 14-yard line. Schreiber under center. Long snap count. Takes it. Back to pass. Looking left. Heavy rush. And he's hit and throws it away.
The pass is incomplete.
Great defensive surge.
And that's the end of the first half with the score of Green Wave 12 and Redhawks nothing.
Hello, Green Wave Nation! Where's all my super fans at? I see lots of people dressed up in white today. I'm not sure if you guys all know
In the young
this,
season,
but
they
when
lead the Frontier Redhawks by a score of 12-0. No scoring in the first quarter. Greenfield scored with 4:21 left in the half. David Carey to Ryan Polizari from 5 yards out for the score. The conversion run failed. Greenfield led 6-0, and then moments later, with 1:52 left in the half, Brendan Driscoll with a gift.
All of my super fans singing that song, and all of the alum who are out there as well. There's many, many of you. For your listening pleasure today, here comes the GHS Marching Band. Under the direction of Mr. Matt Sypak, Senior Drum Major Jordan Tully, and new to the scene, our Junior Drum Major Ingrid Ellingbo. Today they will be playing Another One Bites the Dust, Sweet Caroline, and GHS 3 times through. Remember, play, sing, play. We're going to sing on the second time. Once again, give it up, GHS Marching Band.
hard time putting together a drive, and the big play finally got them within striking distance, but too little too late. Still just 12-0 Greenfield at the half.
All right, we'll take a timeout here. The Bear Country High School Football Halftime Report. We'll have more from Vetsfield right after this on Bear Country 95.3. Keep going, Bear Country High School football report. Vetsfield at Greenfield High School. The GHS marching band on the field. Greenfield players are in their locker room, and the Frontier Red Hawks are over towards the tennis courts off of Davis Street. 12-0 in favor of the Green Wave. The rest of the football weekend, collegiately, well, you got UMass in action. They're on the road at number 17 Coastal Carolina. They are a 36-point road dog, Sean, and I don't think they're going to be favored in probably any of their games this year.
Well, we picked on them a little bit a couple of weeks ago, and they were a 35-point dog at home against PC, and I guess they held in there.
It wasn't that bad, yeah.
Well, it was all right.
I mean, they clearly weren't the best team, but yeah.
They held their own, but yeah, I'm not sure moving forward. Again, we talked about the people that they're trying to play. To be.
Turn our attentions to the NFL as super excited. You know, winning Super Bowl champion. They're awesome. We have some teams that we know are horrible, the Jags, the Jets, but they're in kind of in the, you know, they could go 7-10 and miss the playoffs. They could go 10-7 or 12-5 and make the playoffs. Again, I'm talking about a 17-game season. I think it is wide open, and it makes it exciting for the fans in cities that haven't really been part of the playoff mix for a long time.
Well, even again, just in your own division with Buffalo and Miami, and as you said, the Jets, some growing pains there. But yeah, this has been fun so far, and this will be an interesting game. And again, we'll see that Jones, they start to kind of let him rip a little bit now. You know, it's like when you buy a new car, I think, Jeff. You know, the first 5,000, 10,000 miles, you don't want to rev that engine. You don't want to squeal the tires, right? You don't want to, because you got to break that thing a little first. And but he'll be revving that engine and squealing them tires soon enough. We'll see if that starts this week.
Well, you know, some things I'm trying to avoid. I'm trying to avoid, too much social media, especially some versions of social media. Sometimes I get sucked into it.
I know.
And I try to stay away from some of those daytime sports shouting matches that they have, those debate shows.
Yeah.
But sometimes I can't resist. I don't watch it during the day I'm at work, but I'll watch a clip on my phone later in the day. And this week, there were these talking heads from ESPN, and they were not really teeing off on Mac Jones, but a little bit, saying, he hasn't shown me anything, 3 yards per pass attempt. And listen, he's doing exactly what he's being asked to do. And as you said, eventually, it'll come together for him a little more. But listen, he's playing the game that he's been instructed to play so far, but yet they were taking kind of like pot shots at the guy.
Hey, he didn't throw 4 interceptions, did he? You know what I mean? Like, you look at some of the other rookies out there right now, and
they're struggling.
He certainly seems to be one of the best suited rookies for success, at least right out the gate. I have been impressed with him. Even in the preseason, I thought he looked good. First couple of games, again, 1-1. they'd rather be 2-0, but
should be 2-0. But
this will be interesting. This will be again. Kamara is kind of scary. Jameis Winston, you know, he's going to throw the ball up and down the field. Now, you're going to throw it to his guys or your guys. That's the part that you don't know yet.
Yeah, which Saints team's going to show up opening day against the Packers?
Oh,
I mean, they embarrassed Green Bay, and then they got embarrassed themselves. So again, I just think it's going to be a wide open NFL season.
Yep, a lot of fun. 17 games too. So yeah, bonus.
Yep, 18-week season, 17 games within those 18 weeks. We're still really early on. All right, we'll come back. We'll get you set for the start of the second half. Greenfield leading Frontier 12-0. It's Bear Country 95.3. In previewing the Patriots-Saints game, I did to mention 10 o'clock pregame, 1 o'clock for the opening kickoff.
one yet.
Yes. All right, Greenfield will be kicking to Frontier to begin the second half here.
Yeah, and if you're the Hawks, you just want to get something going here on offense and see if you can get yourself a sustained drive. They did some good things on offense in the first half, but not on the scoreboard.
And the kick is going to chase Ian Spirance down to the 3-yard line. Left sideline, heads downfield. Nice move. And Ian Spirance out across the 30, still going to the 40, 50, and then thrown out of bounds in Greenfield territory. Terrific return by Spirance.
I thought he was in big trouble, Jeff. Where that kick went was just about perfect. He just nailed it down into the corner, and Spirance was kind of hemmed in down there. And boy, I saw them starting somewhere inside their own 10 or 15 yard line, but Spirance cut to the outside, stayed right along the line, and then all foot speed down until Carey pushed him out of bounds. What a great return. What a great start to the second half for the Hawks.
47-yard line of Greenfield. First down and 10. Greenfield 12, Frontier nothing. Carey to Pulizari from 5 yards, and Driscoll with a 25-yard interception return.
You've got to take advantage of this if you're the Red Hawks. You really do.
I formation, wide outs to either side. Sam Schreiber under center. Takes the snap. Broken play, takes it himself. Breaks the tackle, moves the pile forward. I'm not sure what happened there. Their runner was going one way, and he was holding the ball the other way.
I almost thought it was designed at first, but there's no way they would have him hold that football that long in the backfield. He took that thing, and he turned, and then he had to go whoop and turn back around. And
made a nice 5-yard gain.
Very nice gain on that play.
Good 5 yards.
Very
Second
fortunate.
down and 5.
Very fortunate. Yeah, looking to hand that ball off to somebody, and that somebody wasn't there.
Well, you and I often spoke when the great Peter Bergeron was quarterbacking Greenfield High here. There were a lot of broken plays, and it almost worked to his advantage.
Every time.
It was almost better when the play broke down, because then he could improvise. And more often than not, he ended up in the end zone.
He ran around a lot of guys. Yeah, ran through some of them, too.
Second down and 5. Schreiber takes it left side on his own. And a little sweep around the left side. Interesting play call there, but hey, it worked. Sam's he's starting to rack up some rushing yards here.
Yeah, a little bit here. 4 carries now, and give him about 20 yards. Speaking of Peter Berger, we were just talking about that Long Meadow game back in '95.
The 6 touchdown night.
If you could find a cassette player, I found those cassettes. I think that would be kind of fun to listen to.
Oh.
Yeah, I just ran across those things.
That's the problem, is finding a
You got to find a cassette player.
That's ancient technology.
Yeah, there's still some around.
They're trying to find a rotary phone. 3rd and 1, Schreiber up the middle, and he's pushing. Side judge. It's close, Sean.
I think he got there. Well, they're going to mark it up close. They're going to say not quite, but
the official, no, they marked him back a little bit. 4th down and less than a yard.
You run that same play again, I think.
Well, actually, they're gonna bring the chains out.
Yeah, I thought that initial push, I actually thought he got the first down, but where the mark was, they're saying no, and this is going to be awful close, actually.
All right, we'll see. They put the chain down at the 40-yard line. They stretch it.
Yeah, well, sure.
Less than a yard.
Yeah.
So Greenfield, Frontier, now they only trail by 12. They are in Greenfield territory. You got to think, Sean, they can get half a yard here.
I think if you've got to, right. You're down by a couple of scores. Yeah, you got to go, and I would think that you're going to be able to convert this.
All right, Schreiber brings them up. 4th and less than a yard from the Greenfield 37-yard line. Long snap count. Schreiber takes it himself, stood up, takes off left side, and gets the first down. He was stopped at first, Sean.
Yeah.
But then kept the feet going.
Nice job. Yeah, initially he was not going to get there. He ran right up his center's backside and kind of bounced, and he hadn't got there yet, but he was able to scoot left, find a little hole, and gain about 2-3 yards for the first. Nice job there.
All right, if Frontier now can drive the rest of the way and get it into the end zone, that 4th down play is going to loom quite large.
Yeah, again, nice job there by them. A huge return and good field position, and now a first down, and ball inside the 35-yard line of Greenfield, 1st and 10.
9:35 to play here. 3rd quarter, Greenfield 12, Frontier nothing, but the Red Hawks on the march. They had a great kickoff return and a nice 4th down conversion. Pitch, Samaski, his first second half carries in the backfield in big trouble. And he gets knocked out of bounds. A big hit by Buchanan. And a loss on the play for Frontier.
Yeah, he had a pretty good head of steam, and Buchanan came up. And almost kind of bounced off him a little bit. I mean, he hit him. I don't know if he's worse for the wear. I think that might have hurt a little bit too. But
yeah, I think he felt it just as much as Jason did.
Exactly.
Yeah, as Josh, rather.
He's going to lose about 3 yards on the play, though. So nice job there by the Greenfield defense.
Goes back to the 38-yard line. Be second down and long. Clock in motion. 9:10 to play, third quarter. Greenfield 12, Frontier nothing. Hawks come up to the line of scrimmage. 3 receivers to the left side. Tight end lines up on the right. Lone back is Samaski. Schreiber takes it. Swing pass, left side. Caught by Spearance. Hit immediately. Driscoll comes up and pops him, and a loss back to the outside the 40-yard line.
Yeah, just a second completed pass by Schreiber, but that's going to lose about 4 yards on that play.
Well, I know the thought process on there. If you swing that pass out and your wideout can put a move on the defender who's going to be diving for the guy's hips and get by, and Burt has shown that
Hit him out in space and try to find that first down marker, and that's exactly what they tried to do. But
Ian Spearance, definitely shows that he has those kind of moves, but that did not work. Third down and 15 now. Ball back outside the 40-yard line. Schreiber, long snap count. He's dropping back to pass. Floats it out on the right side. It's caught by Ian Burt. Puts a move on.
Flag down.
Only a gain of 1. There is a flag on the other side of the field. So it'll be fourth down and about 14 or 15, but let's see about this flag.
Yeah, both teams with costly penalties in that first half. Greenfield 4 penalties for 45 yards. Frontier 3 for 35. And let's see which way this one's going to go.
And Mike Kacheski is saying, we'll take that. Yeah, he's not going to decline that. That's going to be a big, it's going to be a big penalty as he's playing the field position game here.
He could have declined that, and Frontier likely would have had to punt, but you're right. He'll take the 15 yards.
Well, they haven't stepped it off yet. Okay, now they are. I was going to say, for a minute, I thought.
You could see him pointing and saying, yeah, I'll take the yards. So, yeah, they're going to march this back to the 15, and then Frontier's going to run another third down play, but it's going to be third and 10, 20, 30, 31, 30. Third and 30?
Well,
give or take.
We saw first and 55.
Yes, we did.
The Chicopee Pacers here.
We did. Yes, we did.
It's third and 29 now. Well, that's you absolutely take the 15 yards because, Frontier had it right around
the 40, so that would have, again, they would have had to punt from there. Would have hit Greenfield pretty deep, barring a mistake. So, take the 15, make them run the play.
Frontier had it at the Greenfield 34-yard line. So, that's an easy call. Field position is big in a tight game. All right, Schreiber brings him up. Third and 29. He's back to pass. Flushed out of the pocket. Loses control of the ball, and now picks it up. And he's going to get brought down hard. He gets ripped down on the far side of the field by Dion Brewington. And Brew brings him down hard. It'll be fourth down and long.
Yeah, it's like he tried to pump fake and then turn, and then he just lost the handle on the ball, got it back, and tried to turn it back the other way, and ends up losing a couple of yards on that.
So we're already down to 6:30 to play here in the third quarter. This game flying by right now.
Yeah, the Red Hawks with a decent possession, but the ball ends up further back than where they started after that punt, after the opening kick return.
So Kirkendall set to punt, and back at his own 30-yard line is David Carey. Here comes the punt, kind of a line drive. Carey takes it from his 26, across the 35, across the 40, up to midfield. Man, he is fast.
I was just thinking, as he caught the ball, he's already moving fast. He wasn't even moving yet. All of a sudden, there he goes.
48-yard line of Frontier, so good field position for Greenfield. That penalty ended up really hurting the Hawks, Sean. Actually, they bring it back to the midfield stripe. But Greenfield now is in really good field position to begin their first drive of the third quarter.
45,
they lead 12-0.
Right at the Greenfield 45.
45, thanks for the correction.
Yep, no, and you're right, Jeff. That 15-yarder against Frontier, Greenfield would have had much worse starting field position than this. Already up by 12, 6:07 to play third quarter.
Quarterback draw. Here comes Carey. Swings it to the left side, puts a move on, spins out of a tackle, gets it into Frontier territory down to the 48-yard line. The ball popped loose. Frontier came up with it, Ian Spirance, but they are going to say that Carey was down.
Yeah, it looked as though he was down after a gain of about 7 yards. Let's see where they marked that thing. Look at where the mark is, where the ball is. Give him another yard there. Get up there.
By the way, Sean, I called David Carey Drew Carey earlier in the game, and I covered it up by saying I was mixing them up. I combined Drew Conan and David Carey.
I bought it.
And we theorized that being a rather large guy and growing up in football mad Ohio, that Drew Carey must have played high school football.
You looked that up already?
He did not.
He did not.
He was in the stands playing with the band.
Well, that makes sense too.
He was in the band.
Talented kid, yeah.
Second down and 4. The give, Polazeri has the first down inside the Frontier 45 down to the Hawk 43, and they will move the sticks.
Yeah, nice run there by Polazeri. He's 24 yards now on 6 carries for the junior. And a first down for the Wave. 5.5 to play here in third quarter.
Yep, they stop the clock to set the chain. They'll restart it. Greenfield would I'm going to pump the brakes on my thought there. Ryan Polazeri comes to the sideline. It looks like his left shin or ankle got a little tweaked. And he's going to have to come to the bench here.
That's not a cramp. And we'd seen that week 1. And we've actually seen it the last couple of weeks. No cramping up yet tonight, and that's not a cramp for Ryan. Yeah, he's trying to shake off something else there.
Joey White takes over for him. On the right side, Carey tripped up in the backfield. Great tackle by Ian Spirance. Brings him down for a loss back to the 45-yard line. That kid's had a good game for Frontier.
Yeah, that was a nice job tracking down Carey from behind. Going to lose a couple yards there on that carry, so second and, well, we'll call it a yard. Second and 11, but yep, nice defensive play there.
We're going to mark the ball at the 44-yard line. Second down and 11. Clock in motion. 4:25 to play third quarter.
Yeah, quick quarter.
Greenfield 12, Frontier nothing.
Frontier had the first possession of this quarter, right? This is only the second possession of the quarter.
Yeah, but they had it for quite a long time, just like Greenfield did at the start of the game. And the pass is skipped in there to Devin Buchanan. Kind of short hopped it down to the 35-yard line. 3rd and 11 coming up.
Yep, keyword was skipped. He almost sold it.
3rd and 11.
All the referees looked at each other, and they all came up with the same thing, and that was that the ball hit the ground first. So David Carey, 4 of 12 now passing, 42 yards through the air for him.
Once we get to the end of the game, we'll reveal our players of the game, one from each side.
That's anybody's ball game right now.
3rd down and 11. Greenfield, 44-yard line of Frontier. Greenfield moving right to left here in the third quarter towards Cleveland Street. Out of the shotgun. Carey takes the snap. Takes off on the left side. He's in big trouble behind the line of scrimmage. Throwing against his body. He's got a man wide open. It is caught. 15, 10, 5. Touchdown. David Damkoller. 44-yard touchdown pass, 18-0 Greenfield.
I just have to say, Jeff, that was just, Carey was in all kinds of trouble. He threw that ball from a good 10 yards behind the line of scrimmage as he scrambled out here to the left. And, well, I thought he was just dumping that thing out of bounds, but there's Damkoller just standing there. Makes the catch, turns, and takes it right into the end zone untouched. So Greenfield, big play there.
44-yard touchdown pass. Second scoring strike of the night by Carey. And they will go for 2. So far, Greenfield 0 for 2 on their conversions. Yeah, he threw, and he was throwing against his body, Sean, as you said. And
everything about that said that was trouble.
Yeah.
Everything about that until Damkoller was running into the end zone with the ball.
Yeah, didn't matter how it happened. It just happened. All right, Greenfield's going to try to convert on 2. They swing a pass out. It is caught, but going right down because the ball was overthrown was Damcolor, who just caught the touchdown pass. We'll take a break. 3:56 to play, third quarter. Carquest of Greenfield, South Deerfield, and Shelburne scoreboard. Greenfield now leading 18-0 over Frontier. They have failed on all 3 of their conversions, but they have a comfortable lead over the Red Hawks right now. Carey set to boot it from the 40. Hits a line drive, and it's taken by Burt at the 20. Gets to the 25, across the 30, up to the 35-yard line, and then taken down there by Damcolor.
Again, the Hawks had a really good opportunity out the gate there in the second half, and a big kickoff return, and they've given themselves really good field position. Just not able to take advantage of that, and then Greenfield strikes quick. Down by 18 now, so the Hawks, 3:48 to play, third quarter. They've got to find something that can get them down into the end zone. This game's starting to slip away a little bit.
Yeah, it's been an uneven offensive performance for the Hawks. They've had some good plays, but they've had some critical penalties. They've had some plays that went for big losses. But you're right, Sean. They need to do something here pretty quick. Down by 3 scores here. They would love to get into the end zone and hopefully get into the end zone rather quickly here. From the 35, Frontier moving left to right towards Silver Street. First down, taking it himself is Sam Schreiber. He's getting a fair number of carries. They're calling his number a lot. It'll go for a gain of about 2. We'll give him 3, actually. Second down and 7.
Yeah, 8 carries now for Schreiber. And we'll give him about 28 yards on the ground. So Greenfield doing a pretty good job bottling him up out of the backfield.
Yeah, Sam is not the runner that David Carey is, his opposite number on the other side, but very few quarterbacks can run the ball the way David Carey does.
Yeah, the kid, again, he's got those fast twitch muscles, and he's just athletic. Again, from a standing position, when he fielded that last either kick or a punt return, all of a sudden the kid's just going top speed within 2 strides, so he's just that athletic.
0 to 60 in blink of an eye.
One step.
Second down and 7. The ball at the Frontier 38-yard line. Schreiber, long snap count. Takes it. Fumble on the play. Frontier did recover it as Schreiber ended up losing the handle in the backfield. The ball now will be brought back inside the 35-yard line. And it'll be third down at about 11.
Yeah, so again, just one of those mistakes that you can't make. You're trying to put together a drive. You got a second down, and then you just can't get out of your own backfield, fumble the ball, almost turn it over. Lucky to get it back, but now you leave yourself with a 3rd and 11. And probably not 4 down territory here, so you got to come up with a big play if you're going to hang on to this football. Down by 18.
Clock in motion. We're down to 2 minutes to play here in the third quarter at Vets Field. All right, big Gavin Trott, the center, brings him up to the line of scrimmage. Let's see what they can do. The lone back, they have 3 receivers near side right. The lone back, Samaski, who's not had a lot of touches. He'll get the ball here. He tries the left side. Ball popped loose late, but he was down, brought down at the 37, 38-yard line. And it'll be 4th down from there.
Nice Buchanan, got him right at the knees. And we'll give him a gain. They'll call it like 3 yards there.
4th and
And Scott Dredge has sent out his punting unit. I know they're down by 18, but
Yeah.
it's not really a makeable fourth at this point.
No, and you can't turn the ball over down here, down by 3 scores. So
Kirkendall will boot it, and David Carey is back at his 34-yard line to get it. Here comes the kick, a nice, high, booming punt. Carey will call for the fair catch at his own 32-yard line. I'll tell you what, Sean Kirkendall did exactly what he needed to do there. A nice boot and a fair catch.
Again, he's been hitting the ball well. They had that one disaster with the snap just went clear over his head.
Yeah, he had no shot at that one.
Nothing he could do about that, but when they snap him the ball and he gets his foot into it, he's been hitting it pretty good.
All right, so 1st and 10 for the Green Wave. 59 seconds left here in the third quarter. They lead 18-0. They scored twice late in the first half. Carey to Pulizari from 5 yards, and Driscoll with a 25-yard interception return. And here in the third, Carey to Damkohler from 44 yards.
On a play that looked like he was going to take a huge sack.
Yep.
And then looked like he was just going to throw it out of bounds.
On first down, the snap goes back. Now flag, this play was whistled dead.
False start.
Just before the snap. Yep, false start on the Wave.
That's the Wave.
5 penalties, 50 yards in penalties against Greenfield tonight. The Hawks have been penalized 4 times also for 50 yards.
So that'll bring the Green Wave back to the 27-yard line. First down and 15 from there. 57.8 seconds left here in the half. In the third quarter, I should say.
Got to get a stop here, obviously.
For the Green Wave.
Yeah, a long drive here by Greenfield, spanning the late third quarter and through most of the fourth. We'll just about put it in the win column for the Wave. 1st and 15. Handoff to Joey White, his first touch tonight, and he brings the ball up to the 28-yard line. Gain of a couple. It'll be 2nd down, 45 seconds left here in the quarter.
Yeah, Pulizari's had the most carries. Actually, David Carey has had the most carries out of the backfield. But Pulizari with 6, and then that was Joey White's first carry there. Buchanan's got 1, and Driscoll has a carry as well.
Greenfield taking a lot of time here. We're down to 30 seconds left here in the quarter.
It should be the last play of the third quarter.
Yeah, at the rate they're going, unless there's an incomplete pass here. Down to 15 seconds. Carey takes the snap. Fakes the handoff to White. He takes off himself up the middle. First down the morning to the 40. Breaks into the secondary. Left sideline. 40, 30. And he's ripped out of bounds. And that could be a flag.
He got face masked on the way out.
Actually, he's not going to get the flag, but he did. He was brought out of bounds with a face mask. But it will be a first down Greenfield inside the Frontier 20-yard line.
Let's see, 34, 16, 44. Where are they marking that thing?
Inside the 20. Looks like it's about the 17-yard line.
40, so we'll call that a 46-yard run right there for Carey.
And we will also call the end of the third quarter. Vets Field in Greenfield, our score on the CarQuest of Greenfield, South Deerfield, and Shelburne scoreboard. It is Greenfield 18, Frontier nothing. Bear Country 95.3. Frontier. First down and 10 for Greenfield from there. Already leading by 18. Looking to basically put this one away right here.
This is done way at the Red Hawks 18-yard line.
Greenfield, as usual, out of the gun. Carey fakes it up, throws over the middle. That is caught by Buchanan, and he is into the end zone for a touchdown. Little slant in. He caught Devin Buchanan for the score. 24-0 Greenfield.
Yeah, over 100 yards now passing. 3 touchdowns for Carey. 24-0 Greenfield now, and other than the penalties, and the only other thing I can think of for Greenfield is those 2-point conversions. They're 0 for 3, and Chicopee,
so far,
I believe they were went a 1 for 4 on those as well. So I guess that would be the one glaring area that you would think Greenfield needs to work on. They're going to go for 2 here.
Carey out of the gun. Joey White on his right. And little pitch, and it's going to go to Driscoll, and he takes it in. The 2-point conversion is finally good. We'll take a timeout. 11:53 to play in the football game. CarQuest of Greenfield, South Deerfield, and Shelburne scoreboard. Greenfield 26, Frontier nothing. Bear Country 95.3.
Red Hawks nothing.
I'll do a 30 here, David. And 17. And Driscoll.
We will have David Carey kicking off. And the Red Hawks.
High school football on Bear Country 95.3. Tonight's game brought to you by the Smith Kelleher Funeral Home, Pekarski Sausage, Maury and Schmidt. Well, Greenfield will go to 3-0 on the season as they now lead by 26 points here, early fourth quarter. 3 touchdown passes by David Carey. And this kick is going to go drive Spirits back to the 10, across the 20. Another nice return by him, still going up to the 30-yard line. Ian Spirits with a great night on special teams, as they took that one from the 5 all the way up to the 30.
Yeah, and that opening kick for that second half, that effort there, I mean, that thing, he got pinned back inside of his 5-yard line, and that was one of the better returns we've seen all year, but Frontier not able to convert that into points.
So Frontier, their goal now, take that 0 off the scoreboard.
I say, yeah, Greenfield, they've scored, what they have, 24 points against Chicopee. They scored 24 against Belchertown.
So right around their season average so
26
far.
So far, yeah.
Connor Hoffman, the fullback, takes the first down carry from the 30 up to the 34-yard line. A gain of 4. It'll be second down.
Yeah, 24-14 win against Belchertown last week, right? And then the 24-6 win.
They were having some trouble with the Orioles there for a while. They were having their own struggles.
Yeah.
Kind of like what was happening tonight for a while. They were struggling with Frontier until the late first half, but they have dominated since then.
Yeah, turnover, the penalties, kind of shot themselves in the foot a couple of times, but clearly the better team here tonight.
They go to the double wing formation now, and the give is going to go to Ian Spirits. Bounces to the outside. Ian has the first down up to the 41-yard line. And they will move the sticks. He definitely has to be in contention for player of the game from the Frontier side, I would say.
Well, I'll tell you, I mean, that's only his 3rd carry out of the backfield, but he's got 16 yards. So, yeah, Josh Shamaski, look at his numbers, 9 carries, just 18 yards for him, and Schreiber's got 24 out of the backfield. So, right there with the leading ball carriers, and on defense, as you said, in special teams, that kid's been everywhere tonight.
All right, Frontier now coming up. First down and 10 from their own 40-yard line. Double wing formation. Schreiber Long snap count. Takes it. Rolling to the right. Looks to pass out of that. Underthrew the intended receiver there on the right side. Incomplete. He was looking for Demon.
Yeah, he had a good block there that gave him enough time, but Damon was covered out there. She tried to throw it kind of inside and low, and a little bit too far inside, a little bit too low.
2nd and 10 from the 40. Clock is out with 10:20 to play. So if you're Greenfield, you're going to win the football game here. You would love the shutout. Remember, back in the spring season, they won all their games and they were not scored upon.
Yeah, that was just, again, that team was really special, and glad they got to play, but unfortunate that they only got to play that abbreviated schedule, because that could have been a really special team here at Greenfield.
It was so weird. A lot of those athletes, they had just come off their basketball season, and as soon as football was over, it was time to play baseball.
Oh, immediate turnaround.
I mean, they had 3 seasons, bing, bang, boom.
Right after another, yeah.
And the deep pitch goes to Samaski, and Josh is dropped for a loss. Coming blasting through. Nice stick there by Dion Brington. Carlo was over there as well. 3rd down and 11 from the 39.
Yeah, they've defended the run very well tonight. And again, Schreiber not really a big throwing quarterback. He's attempted 8 passes, but completed just 2 of those for 28 yards. So not a lot of yards for the Hawks tonight on offense.
Clock in motion, 9:45 to play in the football game. Greenfield 26, Frontier nothing. Frontier looking very much like they're about to fall to 0-3, but again, a very, very tough road schedule to begin this season.
Yeah, get shut out week 1 down at Ware.
And they're going to do a handoff to Burt on the left side. He is going to be brought down out of bounds short of the first down. He got reasonably close. He needed to get to the 50, got up to the 40. It'll be 4th down here. Frontier will try to keep the sticks going. They bring it back a little bit. We'll call it 4th down and 3. So they're going to try to go here, keep the ball, and again, try to get into the end zone and take that goose egg off that scoreboard.
Yeah, first carry for Burt. Nice job there. And now Frontier, as you just said, 4th and 3 here. They need this.
Schreiber takes it, rolls to the right, pitches to Samaski. Josh has the first down inside the Greenfield 40, still going. And he's down at around the 37-yard line of the wave, and a fresh set of downs for the Hawks.
Yeah.
Nice run.
And the second best run for Samaski all night long. So, yeah, big help there. Seemed like he got stronger in that second half last week down at Palmer.
Yep.
And I kind of thought we might see that here tonight, but just hasn't got it going right there, though. Big run down inside Greenfield territory, inside the 40, down about the 32.
37, yeah.
Excuse me, about the 37.
37,
excuse
yeah.
me.
So the Hawks now with a chance to get into the red zone here and hopefully for them into the end zone. Greenfield now going to really dig in. Look at these guys on defense.
Right.
They want that shutout. And the quarterback will take it himself on the left side. Nice play on the quarterback keeper by Sam Schreiber. And he brings it down to around the 32-yard line. We'll give him 5. It'll be 2nd and 5. He's going to be up around 30, 40 yards here.
I was going to say, I got him at 29.
29 now.
10 carries.
He's carried the ball more than he's been accustomed to. And now I just noticed for the first time it's getting a little chilly out there.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful day. Once the rain ended, it turned out to be a beautiful day. Got a beautiful weekend coming up. Boy, I hope everybody has some outdoor plans. It's going to be great.
Yeah, not many of them left.
From the 32, 2nd down and 5. I formation behind Schreiber. Sam will give. Big opening for the fullback, Connor Hoffman, and he's got a first down inside the Greenfield 20, down just outside the 15. They're in the red zone with a chance to score.
Yeah, so again, nice run there by Hoffman. He'd had 3 carries for just 4 yards previous to that one. So a big carry for him.
They stop the clock to set the chain. They restart it now. 6:52 to play here in the football game. Greenfield leading big, but Frontier threatening to score. This is their second trip into the red zone of Greenfield.
Yeah, third game, they've only got one score. That was late in that game last week against Palmer. They got shut out by Ware in week 1.
Kirkendall now in there at tailback. I formation behind Schreiber.
That's going to go against the Hawks.
Yep. Left tackle moved. Greenfield was also flinching, but that's going to at least temporarily disrupt the Red Hawk drive here, take them back 5 yards.
Yeah, 10 penalties between the two teams, 105 yards. With the Hawks having the worst of it at 55 yards. Greenfield's been penalized for 50.
Brings it back to the 20-yard line now, just outside the 20-yard line. And it's going to be first and 15 from there.
Clock rolling, just over 6 minutes to play in the game.
Out of the eye, wide outs to either side. Inside give to Hoffman. He had a big run a moment ago. Not that time, though. He got knocked down immediately. Tackle made by Najil White. And also in there was William Van Vliet.
Yeah, move him up give him a yard, I guess, on that carry.
And that brings him to the 20-yard line. Second down and about 14 from there. 5:30 to play in the football game. Can the Hawks get it in here?
Certainly one of their best opportunities of the day.
Samaski still off the field now, as Kirkendall is the tailback. Back to pass, they throw. Pass is caught on the right side by Burt. Ian puts a nice move, but then gets a big stick laid on him. The very end of that play by Driscoll. But he did bring the ball back inside the 20-yard line. See where they bring it down? It's going to be third down and about 8.
And just a third completed pass from Sam Schreiber. 3 of 9 now, 35 yards through the air. Run the ball 10 times for 29 yards as well. 4:45 to play, clock still rolling. This may be Frontier's best opportunity.
And ball's right around the 13-yard line or so of Greenfield. 4 down territory, obviously. Third down and long for the Hawks. Schreiber takes it, pitches it left side. Here comes Samaski, cuts back on the inside and is spun down near the 10, short of a first down. It'll be fourth down now for Frontier. Fourth and about 5.
Yeah, give him a gain of about 3 or 4. Give him 4 on that.
So they need to get down to about the 5 or so, just outside the 5 to keep this going. The ball right now is just outside the 10. Call it the 11-yard line.
Yeah, it's kind of a long 5 yards right there. Yeah, 4th and 5.
Under 4 minutes to play. So this is their best chance to score here. I formation, double wideouts on the far side right. On 4th and 5, Schreiber back to pass, throws over the middle, intercepted. It is picked off by Greenfield. Out to the 32-yard line. Who was it?
56?
50.
50.
Carlo.
There we go, Xavier, yeah.
Got the pick, and Frontier scoring threat is squelched right there. And with 3:35 left, Greenfield with the ball and the 26-point lead.
Well, he just did a nice job reading the quarterback there, followed his man through the middle, and then jumped that route. And just a perfect defensive play there by Carlo. Another interception for this Greenfield defense, and
I'll tell you what, for a guy who wears the number 50, he was picking them up and putting them down pretty good. I thought that might be another pick 6 for a moment.
Well, and then he dragged a couple of guys with him at the end of that play as well.
Nice play there by Xavier Carlo.
He was thinking end zone when he caught it, that's for sure. But now Greenfield, 3.5 minutes to play.
And unless Frontier can get a 3 and out and get the ball back and get into the end zone, Greenfield is going to not only get the victory, they are going to get the shutout. First down carry is going to go for no gain. White on the carry. It'll be second down and 10.
There's a second carry for Joey. Yep, it is. A couple yards on his first carry. No gain there.
But that keeps the clock going. 3:15 to play. Again, our post-game show coming up, players of the game. We have some good candidates from both sides.
All the points on one side of the scoreboard, though. They're all on the Greenfield side. 26-0.
Back to pass. And Trevor Korcheski off his shoulder pads and almost picked off by Frontiers.
That ball was coming in hot.
Yeah. And right off of Trevor's shoulders pad, and the sophomore Aiden Dredge nearly got the INT.
Yeah.
3rd down and 10, so a shot here for Frontier to potentially get the ball back here if they can hold one more time.
Yeah, clock stops with the incomplete pass, so I don't think anybody's used a timeout here in the second half. They haven't, so the Hawks could use their timeout should they choose.
Yeah, we'll have a few commercials to play here. We haven't had very many timeouts
Long
here.
possessions, yeah.
All right, shotgun formation. 3rd down and 10 from the 32. Handoff goes to Joey White. Cuts to the outside, but ridden down from behind. He couldn't quite turn the corner. Nice job of stringing that play out by Dan Demon. It'll be 4th down and about 9 for the Green Wave.
Yeah, we'll give him a gain of, we'll call it a yard, I guess, on that one. So 3 carries, 3 yards for White.
So Greenfield will be punting here. We'll alert Dave Reno, our studio producer. We will go to a break after this change of possession here. I will give you the cue. And back to the 20-yard line to boot it
And
is David Carey.
As I said, there was nobody deep for the Hawks, but
They're going to send Spirits back there.
he'll set up somewhere around his own 25, 30-yard line to receive this.
Greenfield letting as much clock go before they have to take a penalty. Now they'll snap it. Snap is back from Conant. Carey boots it. They came after him. It goes away to Spirits. He'll take it from his 22 up to the 30, 35, 40-yard line, up to the 43, and he's down there.
That was a nice job right there.
So Frontier now will take over. We'll take a quick 30-second break. It's high school football on Bear Country 95.3. Frontier nothing. The Hawks have it on their own 43-yard line. And they will try one more time to get on the scoreboard here.
They do have all 3 of their timeouts should they decide to use them.
And a flag is down.
Oh, he's lined up offside. That's Greenfield.
Neutral zone infraction.
I believe so.
You called it, Sean.
Yeah.
They're going to go against the way 5 yards. And that'll bring it up to the 48-yard line, so it'll be 1st down and 5 from there. Yeah, you got to be aware of where you're lined up.
Yeah, foot was just over where the ball, just where the nose of the ball was, and
But hey, listen, these are high school guys. That penalty is called in the NFL.
that's a minor infraction. He probably won't do it again.
Not unless he wants to run extra laps.
Real lot of laps.
Practice over the weekend.
Don't do that again.
1st and 5, short drop over the middle is caught for a 1st down and more. Still going, the tight end Demon inside the Greenfield 30-yard line. Down close to the 25. They'll stop the clock to set the chains with 1:22 to play.
There you go, Sam. Nice throw there, right in the seam. 4th completed pass for Schreiber. About 67 yards through the air. Tick-tock, though, 1:18, 1:17, clock still rolling.
Why are you bringing up social media here?
Tick-tock.
All right, Frontier now. Up to the line. Schreiber passes right side. Caught again. It's Dan Demon again. Down to the 20-yard line. He's had a heck of a 4th quarter here.
Yeah, he really has.
Unfortunately for Frontier, they're running out of time. 50 seconds, clock in motion.
They're choosing not to use their timeouts. Down by 26.
But they're moving very quickly. 2 receivers to the far side right and 1 to the near side left. Lone back is Samaski. Back to pass again. Pump fake. Lets it fly deep over the middle. It is caught. Touchdown.
And it is a touchdown.
Ben Lazat. Touchdown Frontier, and they break the shutout bid.
I believe that's the first catch of the game for Lazat, and a nice throw there right down the middle of the end zone. He was covered, but he made a nice catch, nice throw, and nice job by the Hawks to hit the scoreboard here. It's 26-6.
And I believe they're going to go for 2 here. They did last week at Palmer. 20-yarder.
And the Red Hawks line up in a 2-point conversion attempt.
Power I formation behind the quarterback. Schreiber loses the handle, picks it up, and he's tackled by Brendan Driscoll. We'll take a timeout. 26 seconds left in the game. Greenfield 26, Frontier 6 on the CarQuest of Greenfield, South Deerfield, and Shelburne scoreboard. And if they can recover, they'll have another shot to get into the end zone.
Yeah, and why not, right? Down by 20, 26 seconds to go. See if you can get the ball back here, take one more shot. Why not?
And now they kicked it a little further down the field than I thought they would. It ended up down at the 37-yard line, and Devin Buchanan grabbed it and had a knee down, and Greenfield will now take a knee here, and this one will be over.
Yeah, they will not have to run a play. The Red Hawks, I don't think, are going to bother to use those timeouts at this point.
Number 10, John Bodenstein in the ball game for the Green Wave.
And Kerry just getting into the huddle now.
And John Bodenstein, who is a sophomore, he just came out. And he'll line up at right end right here.
And they are in victory formation.
And they take a knee, and they do not have to take another knee. They will start the clock, and that will do it. The Greenfield Green Wave, 3 games played, 3 games won, and Frontier still looking for their first win in 2021. Our final score on the CarQuest of Greenfield, South Deerfield, and Shelburne scoreboard, the Greenfield Green Wave 26, the Frontier Red Hawks 6. Stay tuned, the Bear Country High School Football Halftime Report coming up next on Bear Country 95.3. Too bad. Greenfield goes to 3-0 in the season with a 26-6 decisive victory over the Frontier Redhawks. Jeff Terrell, Sean Hubert here in the booth. We got Dave Reno at our Woodard Road Studios here in Greenfield. A little bit of a struggle for the Green Wave early on. No one scored in the first quarter. Definitely an uneven performance by the Green Wave. They got it going late, though, in the second quarter. David Carey to Ryan Polizari from 5 yards for the touchdown. Conversion run failed, 6-0 Greenfield. Moments later, with 1:52 left in the half, Brendan Driscoll with a 25-yard interception return for the score. 12-0 Greenfield at the half. Carey to Damkohler from 44 yards. A very tough executed play with 3:56 left in the third. Made it 18-0 Greenfield. And Greenfield finally got their final touchdown early in the fourth quarter. Carey to Devin Buchanan from 17 yards. Driscoll's conversion run made it 26-0. And then late in the game, 26.8 seconds left in the game, Schreiber to Ben Lazat, 20 yards. The PAT failed. And there's your final, 26-6 Greenfield. Another win for the Green Wave, 3-0 on the season, and Frontier searching for victories and answers right now.
Yeah, just doing some quick math, and you take a look at the first 3 games, this Greenfield team has only given up 26 points total. It's about 8 points per game that they're giving up. Now, they've scored 74 points in these 3 games, so they're averaging right around 25 points per game. So not bad there for the Wave, but you take a look at the Frontier struggles, and again, they've given up 87 points so far in their first 3 games, which is about 29 points per game. But the offensive struggle right there, they scored 6 points twice. That's an average of about 4 points per game over 3 games for the Hawks. So that's, you can tell exactly right there what it is that they need to do, and it's just find a way to get the ball down the field in a little bit more accurate and timely manner. Again, there were some mistakes, there were some penalties, but they got to find the key to get this thing driving.
Well, they do have a premier running back in Josh Zamaski, but when they fell behind by 3 scores, that largely took him out of the game.
Didn't see him much, yeah.
And then they had to rely on Schreiber to do it. And hey, listen, game effort, and they did get that final drive. They finally were able to get some passes completed. So, yeah, they have the ingredients to be a much better football team. But again, very tough early schedule. They played 3 really good football teams in Palmer, Ware, and Greenfield. Eventually, they're going to play teams a little more comparable in skill level to them. But this does not feel good to start off 4-3. Not the start of the season that they wanted, but a long season still ahead of them.
Absolutely, and again, we can see where the problem is. It's just they're not able to put up many points right now. And hey, you can give up 26 points and still win a ball game now and again, but not when you're averaging 4 points per game on your offensive side.
So players of the game, Sean, we'll look at Frontier first. And, Sean Kirkendall had a really good effort punting tonight for the Frontier Redhawks. He definitely impressed me. Ian Sperance, I thought, had a terrific game, particularly in special teams. He's one of the guys. If they can involve him more in the offense, they're on to something.
Yeah, again, you can see that kid. He made one of the best plays of the night for Frontier on that kick return where he was pinned down inside the 5-yard line and in the corner, too, and he was able to bring that thing back out towards the 50-yard line. And what could have been the start of a good drive for Frontier at the time they needed that. It was the first drive of the second half, but obviously they didn't capitalize there. But a nice job by him. Absolutely, he had himself. And Sam Schreiber ended up with a pretty decent game. He put up some numbers a little bit later here. Managed the game pretty well. He did throw the 2 interceptions, but threw the touchdown there at the end. But I know for my money, I'm going to go Sperance on this one. I think he had the best game for the Red Hawks.
He did, and also we'll mention Dan Deeman, the tight end. He made some contributions in this game as well, particularly in the fourth quarter. For Greenfield, well, they have a lot of really good football players, but it is hard to argue against David Carey. Whenever you throw 3 touchdown passes, no interceptions, and you just kind of handle everything as well as you did, it's kind of hard to argue against him.
He handles his business. There's no doubt about that. And, yeah, he only completed 5 passes, 5 out of 14, but just over 100 yards through the air. And as you said, Jeff, the 3 touchdown passes were huge, and also ran for close to 100 yards as well, did David Carey. So, yeah, kudos to a few of the other guys. Brendan Driscoll, again, big interception. Swiss Army knife, that kid is. He just does a little bit of everything, and he does it very well. Had himself a pretty good game. Buchanan had himself a nice little game as well. Damkohler, that big touchdown catch as well. So, yeah, a lot of good things happening for Greenfield, but yeah, you got to go David Carey on this one.
So congratulations to our players of the game here on Bear Country 95.3. Greenfield wins it again by a final score of 26-6. Hubie, you and I are back at it next Friday night. We're going to be in Orange again, where our season began. We've got the Senators of Mahar against Joe Gamash's Franklin Tech Eagles.
Looking forward to seeing the Eagles. They've been playing some pretty good ball. They picked up a game tonight. We'll see how that one works out for them. And looking forward to seeing them down in Orange next Friday night against the Senators, who also came back off of a big loss their first week with a win. So they might be rolling in the right direction as well.
And that'll be the first night of October. Next Friday night, October 1st, Franklin Tech at Mahar, 6:45 pregame. And we'll kick it off at 7 o'clock live on Bear Country 95.3. Final score one more time on the CarQuest of Greenfield, South Deerfield, and Shelburne scoreboard. Greenfield 26, Frontier 6 for Sean Hubert and for Dave Reno. I'm Jeff Terrell. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. Have a great weekend in Bear Country, everyone.